Initiating program Coriander Society Adventures. Active users. Beatdown Boulevard. Ninja Man Matt. Pods of War. Active admin. Tormented by Gnomes. Begin.
Welcome back, everybody, to Coriander Society Adventures. It's good to be back. I think we were off last week. I can't remember. Time is a flat circle, and we all live in this hell world. So,
I mean,
how do you really feel?
that's not untrue.
honestly, I'm just glad that there's no longer the red emblazoned outline of the continental United States on my forehead from rubbing my head with jalapeno oil earlier. That's about how I'm measuring success in my world at the moment.
Yeah,
Why
I
did
didn't
you-
know.
Why
I
did
didn't
you
know
do
that
that?
could happen.
It was an accident. I was cooking dinner. I was cutting open the jalapeno, and I was going to get rid of the core and all the seeds because a lot of the oil is on the seeds, and I didn't want it to be too spicy. So I was in there with my hands ripping out all the guts, and then, man, they were replacing our AC, so it was very hot, and I was over an open stove, so I wiped my forehead, and then later on, I was like, why is my flesh on fire? The TLDR of it is I'm not a clever man.
And apparently your hand wipe is the exact outline of the continental United States.
You're goddamn right. Anyways, folks, Coriander Society Adventures is our interdimensional world-hopping Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign. Our three heroes are Gastone Tosto, an inventor from the city of Northport, John Carmichael, a wizard from planet Earth, and Asena, a badass beat-em-up pugilist from the distant Zolquian jungles. They are currently on the planet Lacunus in a different universe than the one they originally came from. They came here to secure technology that they could use to save the life of Florence Giotto, a girl whose shadowy superpowers are causing her to melt away from physical reality. They just finished finding all the pieces of the tech that they need, but they are scattered, they haven't reunited, and there's more dangers to face. Before we get into the thick of it, do any of you have any questions for me?
Where's my goddamn car, Bruce?
Where's my goddamn electric car, Bruce? All right.
Yeah, it got eaten by oozes, apparently.
That happens, man. It happens. It's super unfortunate.
Yeah.
John,
Yeah.
when we last left you, actually, you know what? Let's go like this. Gastone, when we last left you, John had just randomly appeared inside your hovercraft, asked you to go back to find his car. His car was gone. And he was going off to meet with the mysterious guardian of the shadow pits that you'd spoken with earlier. Do I have all of this correct?
Yeah.
Well, I also messaged for him to come back and get me since I have no other way to get home.
Yes.
Yes. Also that.
So you were or were not heading back to pick up John?
I believe I was heading back.
All right. Just wanted to make sure that you had the choice in that matter.
Like the choice I didn't have because my car got eaten by an
Well,
ooze.
you know, that was somebody else's choice. That was the void pool's choice to eat your car.
Yeah.
True though.
Void pool. Yes.
Okay, John. You have some time. You were just here in the shadow pits. You know how to bypass the void pool, sneak past the shadows, tiptoe through the landmines that would otherwise blow you the hell up. You wind your way through the caves, passing an idol to the dark god Falajur as you go. Until at last you descend down the steps and you see this shimmering nimbus of light rippling off the walls of the glistening moist cave. Only to find Gilwargus himself, standing in power armor with his shining medieval sword encased in like a more high technology sort of layer on top of it. Standing in front of a bubbling pool of electric void acid. In your classic watchful knight, hand on sword pommel stance, looking out over the acid.
So do you just stand there staring at that like all day long?
Not all day. Sometimes I hunt voidlings and look out for the void pools and the shadows and such. It breaks things up a bit.
I can imagine. Long time no see.
Are you
Ask
well,
how
John?
Enough. Yeah. My car got eaten, unfortunately.
One of many risks we face in this world.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel like like I deserve that. So I'm not gonna worry about it too much.
Well, surely some
how-
omniscient, omnipotent power that subverts all things couldn't be out to get you, right?
Absolutely not. How are you? Speaking of which, omnipotent things that are out to get you.
Things haven't gone to plan, John.
You're telling me.
Everything that you bound to this place has come to fruition. We've had just 2 batches of eggs. One
Okay.
shortly after you left, and then one just now. It was as you said, the young devoured each other, the strongest emerged. I put it to the sword. Your new friend helped.
Really?
Yeah. Took a shot at it. Mando would be proud.
That
But-
sounds fantastic.
There are other things breeding here, not just dragons. Things of shadow and void, alien intelligences, incomprehensible darkness slipping through the cracks. It's not as you intended. It's not as you meant.
I'm assuming this has something to do with the chronophage.
I don't know. I think the power here is worse than we thought. The power that you bound here is worse than you thought. Maybe the
The frontal
chronophage
core,
makes
maybe?
it easier for these things to slip through, but they're drawn to it, drawn to the flesh.
Well, in my defense, which again, not a great case, but I really have only just started figuring out how bad this stuff really is. I mean, I knew it was some kind of horrible eldritch abomination, but I've come to, I've come to realize it's that and so much more.
I'm not holding you to task, John.
I can see why they call you a saint. George, I need to find out a little more. I know it's been about a year or so since we last interacted, but a lot's happened. More so just revelations and such. But what do you know of the chronophage? Do you know about the elder evil that surrounds Lacunas and the solar system and probably the entire multiverse in its immediate vicinity?
No, it was only 2 centuries ago that I stepped through to follow my queen's, the oath I swore to my queen, to hunt dragons and to free mortals from their collar. I had the brief sense of it when I stepped through the gate and was caught in its grasp. It spread itself like a spider at the center of a vast web. It's ensnared time and space far beyond this place. I passed through its web, as did all the dragons that came and invaded it. It itself, it's vast, it's alien, it's nigh incomprehensible. It dwells between moments in places that we couldn't perceive. But it's only one being. Much of what we see isn't the creature itself, it's just the web, the temporal web that it's spun across reality. I don't want to call it ancient because I don't think that concept of time really applies here.
But much like a spider in its web, I'm assuming that if you were to touch one of these strands, whether it's a part of the beast or not, it's deadly just the same.
It would ensnare you, it would find you, it would feast on you.
What do you think prevents people like us from getting ensnared? The dragons that came here, you afterwards, and then me only recently.
It's like we're at the eye of the storm. It's used this place as its lair, its nest, not its hunting ground.
So you're saying it's letting us in?
I suppose.
How
I don't
would you
think it
kill
hunts
if you
here.
could?
I know that much.
George, let's say your queen tasked you with defeating the chronophage. How would you go about it?
I'd probably ask you for help.
Oh, well, hence my question.
This is something that's... If I could draw the spider to one place and challenge it to stand forth and do battle like the good old days, I'd do that. But I think it would wrap me up in a web of years and drain my future and render me unto dust. I don't know how to protect myself from something like that. I don't think Manda knows how to protect us from something like that, even with all of her knowledge. But you have access to a vast constellation of realities. There's got to be something out there that can help.
I've got a couple of ideas, but I need to prove my hypothesis before I can even come close to pulling a trigger, because I feel like you said cornering this thing, or at least cutting off any escape, is probably the best way to approach it. But much like any other cornered animal, this thing is going to fight to the death if it gets to that. So I want to make sure that I'm going to come out on top. You know what I mean?
Yes. I doubt it's a fight you'd get more than once.
Yeah. To that point, much like I asked, you said you'd come to me for help, just like I'm coming to you. Do you have any idea how to contact the rest of the society? I only now realized that even though time works a little differently and you've only been here a couple of 100 years, technically where we come from, I mean, you're ancient. You're what, 800 years? At least not old, but
you said
in
was
my past.
What, the year 2000 and something where you came from?
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah.
10, 11 centuries. The last, I mean, I lost a good lot of that to being caught in the chronophage's web, so I have no idea what my effective age is at this point.
Actually, I was going to ask, are you effectively immortal, or does time just not touch you? How does that work? How are you so old? As far as I know, you're mortal, right? Or was it something to do with your
have
queen?
yet to fulfill my oath.
Oh, that was the caveat. Wait a minute. Are you sure we can't use that?
How?
I guess it would depend on how powerful your fake queen is versus an elder evil.
That's true.
Something to think about, though. Anyways, that being said, I know it was very different back in your day, but I'm certain you had to have had some way. And I know the last time I was here and I asked, you said you didn't really have a way of communicating with them as far as you knew. But let's say that I wanted to try to get in touch with the society. Obviously, as far as we know, they're bound to Earth, but they very likely have to be at least aware of other places, locations, and times. I mean, I would have to assume there has to be a way that I can get in touch with them, especially considering how, look, I'm going to be honest. I feel a little bit in over my head with this whole self-imposed quest of exile to scatter these pieces of this ancient god across the multiverse. And I'm almost halfway there at this point, but it's obviously big things are drawn to these little pieces that I scatter around. And I kind of feel like I'm dooming worlds in the long run by hiding these things across the multiverse. And I thought it was a good way to scatter them around, but now I'm coming to realize that things are coming to claim them. And I don't want to be the cause of countless worlds' doom because I'm trying to save the whole damn thing. You know what I mean?
Do you have faith, John?
Not for a long time, no.
When you did, what was it in?
People.
That's a good place to put it.
Oh, that's just it. I'm trying to find my people, George. The rest of the society. But I don't even know where to look.
I don't know how much help I could be. The coriander flower was a gift from my betrothed, Una, as a token of her faith in me. I was never inducted into a formal society, and that's not what they would have called themselves anyways. I don't know how much help I can be to find them, but that Gastone fellow that came around here, he seemed a good sort. He was willing to lay everything on the line for an innocent. I think your people are closer than you think.
No, you're right. Both Gastone and Asena both got me out of my funk, and apparently I'm back traveling the multiverse because of them. So, all right. Well, is there anything I can get you before I go? John starts fishing through his Mary Poppins bag.
You got anything to eat?
Hell yeah, I do. Do you like
I'm not
Voski
particularly
slop?
hungry, but something to break up the monotony would be nice.
John pulls out, one of those little folding card tables?
Mm-hmm.
John takes out a folding card table and sets up a little picnic for them, which is a lot of Voski leftovers, since that's the most recent thing John's come across. But it's also candy bars, different provisions from Earth. He takes out a can of Coke for both of them. And he warns him it's mostly just leftover Prince food and then just junk food, but it'll definitely break up the monotony of what he's been doing.
He's super grateful. He says grace before eating, of course, in Old Latin. The two of you enjoy
John
it.
actually joins him. John's going to say an old prayer that his mom taught him in Gaelic.
Nice. I think George would probably recognize the tongue even if he isn't fluent.
Yeah.
The two of you enjoy a nice meal, just a little bit of back and forth talk. And at the end of it, as you're cleaning up, and he again says, put your faith in your companions. I think that the three of you can find your way. And as you're preparing to leave, he does that thing where you say your goodbyes and you're going to walk out, and calls you before you turn around. John, for all you've suffered and sacrificed, the grim choices you've made, the people you've scarred, the people you've saved, the corruption that always yawns just underneath your feet. Despite it all, there may come a day when Kur still returns. If that day ever comes,
I know where to find you.
call me.
John throws him a box of Twinkies.
He catches it, takes a look at it.
Don't eat more than one of those every couple of days. They'll never expire, but you might not fit into your armor if you go through the whole thing too quickly.
You are outside the caves reuniting with Gastone, and you can still hear the crinkly wrapper opening because those things are loud.
Nice.
Gastone, aside from sitting there waiting for John to apparently have lunch with this guy, was there anything you wanted to do while you were Uber driving?
No. No, I think I'm pretty cool with John just getting in and heading back to the city.
Okay. Is there any conversation on the way back?
So, John.
Yeah.
Where were you?
Oh, man. Everywhere and nowhere. Literally. I ended up the same place as you. By the way, sorry for leaving you behind. I kind of was taking your advice when you had mentioned that other parties shouldn't really be aware of that place. And I kind of figured, you know what? Probably a really good idea. And so I didn't know what I was going to find there, if there was going to be hordes of dragons or apparently shadows and ooze. And I kind of thought it'd be best. I left you your tech and I figured I'll just take off, try and take care of this, and then head on back as quickly as I could. But obviously I can't stop you. So thanks for coming and helping George out. I heard you did him a real solid.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I'm not really sure he would have had any trouble handling himself, truthfully, but yeah, I guess I helped.
Well, that's the reason I left him in charge of that. But I think for him, it was more so the content of what you showed rather than the actual,
Yeah, fair. I'm glad he appreciated that.
Well,
the other thing too. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I appreciate it too. Actually, both you
sure.
and Asena, you guys are, both of you, pretty amazing. I'm more than impressed.
Thank you. And truth be told, maybe I should have stayed behind.
Why is that?
Well, we had some close calls. Just a couple of them.
I'm glad you came. I'd have been stuck here.
Wait. Would you have?
Yeah, my car got eaten. That's why okay,
that way.
Long story short, I ended up sneaking through that place. Ended up getting jumped by one of the captors that we were after. I got pulled into another dimension, and I got to see the life of every single dragon that's ever existed or maybe will exist. I don't know. It was huge. And
Does that mean you saw Asena's life?
You know, damn it, I didn't look.
Damn.
I found
that was
Haura.
like my immediate thought. Yeah, maybe Haura's fine too, you know, but
No,
just like we'd get our confirmation.
Yeah, no, I know. I found Haura. That was surprising. Damn it, I honestly didn't cross my mind. I should have though. Man.
Maybe we don't tell her about that.
Yeah, maybe we'll leave off on that. Maybe we dangle me having or have or not seen it. We can leave that in open-ended.
Yeah.
Anyway, dang it. John's like kicking himself now that you mentioned that. Anyway, I was basically informed, even though somehow I got there, I want to say before the other two of you did. Honestly, I don't know. Things have been so weird, but I got there first, but it told me that both of you already got what we needed, even though I feel like you hadn't gotten it yet. I honestly don't know. Time's one of those weird things. But I made some deals and took care of something that I hope is going to pay off in the long run. And it asked me where I wanted to be, and I wanted to rejoin with you. And apparently it threw me right in your vehicle. I did not expect that.
Oh. Huh.
Sorry for bouncing, by the way. I honestly thought I was leaving my car back there, and then I realized that it was gone. It got eaten.
Yeah, this place doesn't seem very great for parking.
No.
Although, honestly, nothing really happened to this while I was in there. So
yeah.
This is lucky.
Funny thing. Nothing happened to your car. I know.
Yeah. I mean, that's lucky for both of us. Otherwise, we'd be just trotting our way back to the city.
Oh, man. We'd be flying. I'd have us flying, but
that's true.
Like 1,000 miles at 30 move speed?
That's more than that, but it would take
60
a while.
move speed, yay.
That's twice as fast. How dare you? Yeah, no, it would take a while.
Mm-hmm.
It would take a while. I know I would honestly probably be calling in favor to make that happen. But anyway, luckily, you parked in a better spot than I did. I must not have paid my fare.
That's what it is.
They came, they picked it up, but they didn't leave me a tow or anyone to call to figure out where to get it. So, oh well.
Yeah, I mean, Lacunas is kind of different. So maybe they just do things differently. Maybe there's just one lot that every vehicle gets taken to.
You know, in Earth, they give you a ticket. On Gior, they just haul it back to the yard, and in Lacunas, they eat it. You know, that's just how it goes.
Yeah, to each their own, I guess.
Exactly. How about you? How did things go for you? I got a very brief overview of what went down for you, but
Shadow Ooze, landmines.
Oh my god, those landmines.
Yeah, but no, we're good. Limbs are all intact. Big fan. I did get what we needed, although I'm confused how I got there before you. But time is weird. We'll address it later. Did
they pull you in a shadow universe, or did you stay put?
I stayed put. I didn't go anywhere. But I somehow, in that room where it's like just to the side of the those acid pits or whatever.
Yeah.
One of those machines just kind of lit up on its own while I was messing with stuff, and I was communicating with somebody. Probably Vignar, but best guess. I don't think we confirmed that, but it was people who said, "Hey, here's the armor that you need for Florence. Also, kill the chronophage." And I was just like, "Okay, cool. That sounds fine."
Wait, so they didn't even come talk to you?
They did through a computer.
Oh, through a computer. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like jump scared me. That's not usually their MO. That was weird.
Which the typing or the jump scare?
Well, both. And actually, John pulls out the charm he stole from the Vignar operative that he was talking to. This one was a little weird. I kind of feel like he's a little bit against their normal, desensitizing and programming, because he had like charms and stuff.
It's a small onyx cat with its paw raised up.
And his name was Justin. His name was Justin. Her name, I think it was a him. Anyways, their name was Justin. They had this keychain, and yeah, they had a penchant for sneaking up on people and making a big old scene about it. So that's not usually how they function. So They must have been new, or they must have been so high ranking that they're kind of starting to move away from their deprogramming from Thalazor. That's the evil death dragon they used to worship. Now they worship a new death dragon that's more neutral, I guess, is how you could see it.
I mean, neutral's better than evil.
Yeah, that's how I see it, At least they're just kind of looking at people now instead of just constantly doing hits all over the place. So
that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Pretty great. As
right?
as people who could be under the threat of being hit, I'm a big fan that they're no longer.
Yes, you and ninjas. Yeah, you guys don't really get
Look,
along.
I've had enough. Like,
this is space ninjas, basically.
Yeah, and I've dealt with enough of that.
Yeah.
Just, wow. But
Hey.
yeah, we should kind of figure out when the others get back what we're gonna do next. Because, I mean, the whole reason we came here is pretty much done with. I have the schematics.
Speaking of schematics, and John takes out of his phone, he's been kind of digging through all his old files since it's been like a whole year. Like when you start taking pictures and you download them on your phone and it just
start sorting your Google Drive.
Gets way buried. Yeah. John ends up pulling the schematics up for the dragon when he first made it with Manda, and he sends them over. Does Gastone, do you have like a pad or some kind of like device that like
he has no personal computing device at this time.
We need to get him one. All right. Well, so for John shows him that he has it and says, okay, as soon as we get back to town, we're getting you a personal device that you can use to start storing all this stuff.
Oh.
But actually, John offers, if you want me to drive, if you want to go over the plans, I mean, it's going to take a long time before you can do anything with it. But I mean, would you like to make a dragon killing gun? That sounds pretty cool, right?
One, the car drives itself. Actually, we're just sitting here. Two, I absolutely would like to make a dragon killing gun.
I like how John's been having this conversation the whole time and not noticed that Gastone isn't pressing any buttons.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, Voski gave me one that I had to drive, so I didn't realize it came in this variety. Anyway, yes, because maybe you could make one that doesn't just implode on impact.
Yeah, that sounds like an important
for us.
I was going to say feature, but I guess I should say function.
I mean, it got it done. I mean, I've never built a railgun before, so I did my best.
I could build that.
Anyway, have you heard from Asena? Hasn't it been? How long has it been since we all separated?
Asena's mission has been gone for days. Your mission has only been gone for about 8-9 hours or so.
Oh, so we're not on the same time length as her. We're
right.
Like,
you are going to catch up though. So let me know when you're done with this scene, and we'll catch up with her in space.
Okay.
That being said, because I assume that Gastone, you're going to be doing analysis of this as you go, roll for me a science check, please.
Can John give him advantage since he's going over the schematics with him?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Huh. Oh, here we go. No, that's not right. I don't know why Roll20 is being terrible.
They don't always think it be like it is.
Do you need some assistance?
Let it do.
No,
I think it's probably just not rolling right away. Feel free to F5. While you fix that, why don't we cut over to Asena for a bit?
Good. Yes.
Asena, you are in space. You're on board the Wayfarer. A Vignar assassin appeared and told you that you need to kill the chronophage lurking at the edge of, hey, there's a science that is a natural one. John gave you advantage, though. Yeah, advantage on this. So roll again and take the better of the two. 25. Okay, so I'll briefly address this, and then we will go back to Asena. Gastone, the dragon is a railgun, but instead of firing like a single shell or even a tiny little speck, because railguns can accelerate things to such high velocities that you don't need a lot of mass to get a lot of force because of the Einstein math. Or maybe it's the Isaac Newton. I think it's the Isaac Newton math.
It's Newton. Yeah.
Thank you. The Newton math. So most railguns, they use magnets to hyper-accelerate a projectile. There's a lot of problems with them in the year 2021. As far as we know, the government is still working on developing railguns that are actually effective, that don't tear themselves apart from the forces involved. This is not something that would be covered by the science of Northport. This would be, at best, weird science for you. So you're looking at, but you're familiar at least with the underlying principles of magnetism, etc. Things that would have held you back in Northport time would be power sources, material science, creating something that's strong enough to not fall apart, generating enough power to generate that much of a magnetic pulse, etc., etc. But the Dragon launches basically a harpoon. It launches a big-ass spike. It's like a hunting railgun. It is incredibly massive. It launches this spiked warhead. It's just a projectile. There's no, like, explosive payload. And it was only designed to be used once because it had to launch such a massive projectile with so much force at short range. A railgun can generate enough force to launch a projectile with incredible distance. This was designed to absolutely kill the shit out of something enormous at close range. There's also a lot of magic involved. The railgun itself was engraved with magical circuitry and runes, and the payload, the harpoon that was loaded into it, was specifically designed to be carved with magical runes, bathed in certain ointments, have spells inlaid into it, etc. This is very complex. It's a very sophisticated piece of equipment, but with a 25 in science, congratulations, you've just gained 300 research points in physics.
Hey,
or maybe force fields. I'll pull this up and verify this. We're gonna go to, where are the railguns? It might be force fields. Let me see. Yeah, force fields. Because it generates magnetic fields instead of being just like pew pew. So you've gained 300 research points in force fields. You have rank 1 in force fields. I will tell you what you have learned how to build. And remember that just because you know how to build it doesn't mean that you have the material, resources, etc. to create it. All right, Asena, you're in space. You're in the cockpit of the Wayfarer. A Vignar assassin recently visited you, tasked you with killing the chronophage, the time-eating parasite that has the Lacuna system completely woven into its web. It also transmitted a whole bunch of arcane gobbledygook that appeared on your computer, magical runes, the enchantments needed, because the Vignar's technology, their shadow armor, is not just high-tech, it's also magical. The two have combined together. You've received arcane formulas. This is not something that I think you are immediately familiar with, right?
Nope.
Okay. Haura seems to know what's going on. As the Vignar has already vanished, Barakai is in the pilot seat. Lynn and Hara are going over the data. And Lynn demands to know, is this it? Is this the tech virus? Is this the thing that can kill the EXARCH? Barakai looks horrified. Hara looks over and shakes her head. Lynn is visibly frustrated. What more do they want? What do we have to give them to give us what we need? Does Asena do or say anything?
Don't we have to kill something? I mean, we're pretty good at killing things. They probably want us to kill something.
I guess. She sort of accepts that, but is still clearly not happy. Hara pulls out a small computer, a smartphone essentially, downloads the arcane runes, gives them a look, puts them into her phone and says, we got what we came here for. This is what we need, plus the technical schematics, which the Vignar are going to give to Gastone. Our mission here is done.
We're done with space? We just got here.
Yeah, and the Vignar met us, just like the seers predicted. Was there something else you had? Did you have important business to tend to in space?
Well, yeah, I was really hoping we were gonna find that guy, the suitor princess lady. but I guess it's not that important.
This is a long-term project, Asena. You're going to need to draft an eligible guest list, probably culled from multiple worlds.
Oh,
There's actually some in my home world who
yeah.
might be good fits.
Okay. I think I'd be okay with leaving space if we got to go to your home world.
That's where we're supposed to head next, John promised.
Don't put this info on me.
Promised. I'm gonna remind him of that.
Lynn says, all right, let's go back.
Why are you upset, Lynn?
She looks kind of coldly at Barakai, stands up, and motions for you to follow her to the back of the ship.
Secrets. And then I'll say that audibly and then walk back with her.
All right, go ahead and move yourself on down.
Hmm.
All right. In the
I'm gonna
small...
sit in the chair.
Sweet. You're sitting in the chair. She's sort of propped up. She folds the bed down from the wall and sits down on it. I was cloned and programmed from birth to be a field engineer for the EXARCH. Every moment of my life planned out, from my genetics to my early education, everything. All for the sake of EXARCH. I broke out. I decided I wanted to live a life of my own choice. I didn't want to go along with some vast program. I wanted to remember what it actually meant to be human. And ever since then, I've been fighting my entire life to show everyone else who's under EXARCH's control that that's what actually matters.
Mm.
But I am fighting against a machine with the combined intelligence of a god. It has eyes and ears everywhere. It can think millions of times faster than any one human. It's almost an impossible task. The only reason I'm even alive is because I know a piece of how it thinks. But it died once. The Vignar, that same person who just appeared in our hold, their order used magic and technology to create a virus that killed EXARCH, corrupted it, infected it. John actually killed it. They just booted up another one. But I think that if John hadn't killed it, that virus might have spread. It might have actually taken it down. Done what no human could ever hope to accomplish. All I want from the Vignar is that power, so that I can go back and free the rest of my people.
Well, if John's done it once, he could do it again.
He didn't create the virus. He purged the virus by killing the old EXARCH.
So we just gotta find the virus.
Right, which the Vignar are the ones who created. So
they gave us plenty of stuff, so I think once we do the thing that we need to do, maybe they'll give us more.
Yeah, all you have to do is kill a god.
Hey, I'm not very smart. I'm not very intelligent. And I'm pretty good at killing things.
Roll persuasion check with advantage, Asena.
Also, kill a god to kill a god. That sounds pretty fair.
13. Honestly, you're not really sure why Lynn found comfort in what you had to say, but she did. It at least brought a smile to her. And yeah, well, if anyone can do it, you lot can. I was just hoping to shortcut this whole thing, but it was never supposed to be easy. Hey, if you need any help taking this thing down, I don't know when you're planning on getting about it, but let me know. If that's what it's going to take to bring down EXARCH, I've got your back.
Oh, for sure. And we could use you and your big suit and your invisibility, and we could be like a big battle. It'd be awesome.
If it's anything like what you did to those raiders who attacked us, then I think we're going to be in okay shape.
Yeah, and that was actually a bad fight of mine. You got to see me when I'm doing good.
She seems significantly comforted when Haura emerges from the same doorway. Slides open, she has to duck under. Asena, Lynn, minor problem.
It's not Bear, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, Bear's fine. Okay, what's on? What's happening?
It's about landing.
Oh.
I think I should let him explain. Lynn rolls her eyes and stands up from the bed, folds it back up onto the wall, and starts walking back to the cockpit.
You know, I spent so much time thinking how to get to space. I didn't think about coming back from space.
I didn't think it would be that much more of a problem, but apparently I was wrong.
Okay.
In space, nobody can hear you regret.
Haura opens the door and sort of gestures for you to move through before she follows you.
All right.
As you step through, you can hear from behind the closed door of the cockpit, "What?"
Oh, it's closed.
No, it opens in front of you, but you hear a yelled "what" kind of muffled by the door as you're about to walk in. As you go in, Barakai is saying, "I am not blaming you. It is directly as a result of your actions, but that doesn't mean I'm blaming you. That's a very harsh turn of phrase to use." Lynn just face palms. Haura looks at him, jerks her head towards you. Tell her. When you commandeered this vessel, he gestures over to Lynn, used an electromagnetic pulse to disable some of the nearby security units that were protecting it and some of the systems that were preventing, this from happening. That erased our landing procedures.
Okay.
They're gone. The ship's programming to land, it's gone. Sensors to detect our landing area and guide us through the atmosphere and down to the terrain, also gone.
You can't just do it manually?
I mean, you're really not supposed to. It's not a good idea. You have to factor the exact right angle of attack based on the rotation of Lacunas, local environmental factors, height of terrain, thrust modulation, account for any ballast. Normally the flight program would take care of all of that, but that's been completely wiped out. Doing it manually, that's way too much math for any one person, especially if we can't get any readings about us from the surface. We'd have to rely on what we can sense and nobody guiding us in or measuring our approach.
I guess we'll just have to stay in space forever, Bear.
Lynn looks at you sardonically, but also kind of chuckles a bit.
If you don't think we can land this, I mean...
No, we can. But we'd have to connect remotely. Lynn puts her hand down. No, absolutely not.
What does that mean?
If I can establish an open channel to EXARCH, it can remotely upload all the systems that we need and guide us in.
Oh.
Guaranteed success. within 0.000000. Lynn says, I get it. Perfect goddamn computer system. No, I'm not letting you phone home just so that you can rat us out.
Repair unit activated.
Forgot about him.
You do have a repair unit. The repair unit doesn't have the flight coordinates and landing coordinates stored, but it can repair systems and engines and such.
And landing equipment.
The equipment is fine. It's the transmitters, the sensors, etc., where you'd have to, again, it's like your map is gone. The information of your map, your terrain map of the planet and how to safely land is gone.
And Rua can't control Z, that stuff?
Nope. It's wiped from the system.
Could Rua control Z it with some inspiration?
It can get you part of the way there, absolutely. So essentially, Asena, Barakai says that if we connect to EXARCH, we can absolutely land safely. Otherwise, somebody's going to have to try to land manually, which is incredibly risky.
Yeah.
And it would most likely either be Barakai or Lynn at the controls.
But if we connect remotely, then they'll know not only exactly where we're going, but also that Lynn's with us.
Yes.
Okay, that's an option. Do we have any other options?
Repair unit activated.
Haura, go ahead.
How about we head towards the ground, and right before we explode into a million pieces, we just like teleport out of here.
Lynn says, what?
Hara's made me go poof before.
Hara's doing the math right now. She's running the arcane calculations.
But we'll lose the ship. Obvi. We might lose Bear.
Obvi. You gotta
Obvi.
save repair unit activated, though. Bring that little bot with you.
Okay. Hara. She
Could
thinks
we
about
have
it.
repair unit activated be like the 8th model, so it can be RUA8, and that'll be like our little buddy?
Hara looks around at the four of you, closes her eyes for a moment. I could do it. Yeah, I could get all of us out. But we'd have to get within 500 feet of the ground. Barakai, 500 feet? We're going to be traveling at over 500 feet per second. The margin of error on that is 0.
What's 0.1, probably?
Yeah,
Also,
but
we'd have to survive
Hara's
re-entry through the atmosphere without exploding first.
Okay, see, that sounds scary, the way you say it. But Hara's a Dargan, and like they can do anything.
Lynn looks over, sort of confused at what that could possibly mean. Barakai just blinks. There is another option if everything else fails. Hara goes into her bag and pulls out chalk. I could get us all out of here.
With that stick.
Yeah. With that stick. We'd have to leave the ship behind. And we wouldn't go anywhere good.
Where would we go?
Well, right in the middle of the Ulhar Council. I could cast a teleportation circle. I've got 2 of them. One takes us to the middle of the Ulhar Council. The other one to the court of Perianth. Neither of those are places that we need to be going right now, but both of them are better than exploding and dying. Well, arguably, the Ulhar one might be slightly more complicated. Lynn and Barakai both say, yeah, slightly. Dragon High Command. Okay, so drive, try not to die. If we're going to die, teleport out at the last second as long as we're within 500 feet of the ground and we haven't already exploded on re-entry. Completely abandon the ship and teleport to imminent danger, leaving John and Gastone way, way, way behind. Hope that one of these two can land the ship or remotely connect to the AI that runs an entire civilization who Lynn has sworn her entire life to defeat.
And who you stole the ship from.
You know, I think it's kind of up to Lynn. Depending on how much you want or not want to connect remotely.
Absolutely. Zero chance. Zero chance.
Okay. Well, then that's out. We're not going to sit here and force you to do something you don't want to do. Unless you're Bear. He's kind of our...
He slumps down in his chair. I am not trained for this. I am not trained for an unguided re-entry procedure. Well, sucks to suck. Lynn just is completely abrupt about that. John.
Mate, when did that level up happen? Is it yet to happen yet, or did we get that?
It's effective. The level up has kicked in.
Because you said it's this is like days after Gastone and I were traveling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know what spell I want.
Nice.
Just now you figured it out?
Oh, I actually earlier, about 10, 15 minutes ago, had a big reveal that because we didn't have 5th edition back when we were playing this game, so this spell wasn't a thing.
Okay.
Asena, you got a message from John.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
John cast the sending spell.
What is this? You're in the past?
It's a higher level. Well, no, I'm not in the past. Gastone and I presumably
they're kicking it in the Voski city, sitting back, eating snacks. Gastone's got like 3 different holographs. It's the equivalent of having piles and piles of books and whiteboards around you, but it's all holographs, and he's just like absorbing information. And
John only recently researched this spell and is like, where the hell are they? And so you get a message from John. What is it like to receive this message? Are you asking me or are you asking her? No, you're the one casting the spell. How does it work?
Yeah, what are you doing?
How does the message go through?
So you're in the middle of arguing and coming up with plans with the rest of your group out in space. And then just out of nowhere, you feel this gentle weight on your shoulder, almost as if someone had just kind of leaned in and was like whispering something to you, like in the middle of class, like, hey, we got to go. Or, oh, look, the teacher's sleeping. But it's almost like you don't literally feel it, but you get the sensation that someone had just put their hands on your shoulder, and you almost feel someone's breath in your neck. Not like they're going like, but it's almost like someone's just standing right there talking to you. And you hear, as if John had been just kind of leaning over and whispering to you. He says, Asena, where the hell are you? Are you okay? No, okay is one word. It's not syllables, it's words. Are you okay? Do you need help? This is my first time using this. Oh, you can reply like usual? Question mark at the end.
Asena, upon like hearing this thought, I guess, will do like a small little yelp.
Oh, and you know it's John, by the way. You know it's John.
Yeah.
It's not just some random message.
She'll do a little yelp and like turn around to see if John's behind her. Which he is not.
He is not.
He's in my brain.
Come again.
John, I just heard John.
He's in your brain?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to let him in there. Who knows what he'll do?
Oh no.
What is he saying?
He asked if we were okay, where we were, and if we needed help. That's a pretty convenient time for him to message me.
John,
Or
did that cap
Speak to
out?
my brain.
I got right up until needed. So I'm telling, I run to Gastone and I'm like, I don't know where they are, but they need help, I think. I'm not taking from your scene. I'm just letting Gastone know that you're in trouble.
All right.
I mean, I don't think Asena knew that she was responding back to
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's fantastic. All right. John and Gastone are doing something. Meanwhile, in space, Lynn has basically said, we're going to land this thing manually and just try to not die. Congratulations, Barakai. You're going in hot. Where do we want to set down?
There's no ocean on this planet.
There is not. There is not.
Is there anywhere else squishy?
No. The planet has a low squishiness level.
How about you land on like a cliffside? So that way, if we miss the first part, we could just fall down the cliff 500 more feet. Try again.
I'm not entirely sure that that's how that works, but we don't want to land in EXARCH territory. Everyone's going to be able to detect us tearing a hole in the atmosphere. Yeah, no, let's bring it down over the Voski Mountains. Worst comes to worst, we'll just jump out of the back of the ship.
Yeah.
At Mach 5! Obviously not. You're going to slow us down, aren't you, Barakai? You don't want to die. She slaps him on the back. Set us down, Voski Mountains. Barakai starts hyperventilating. And starts pressing buttons, beeping things, and is clearly very unhappy.
Lynn, do you have any like medicine Bear can have to sort of like chill him out?
She shakes her head.
All right, well, I tried.
Reentry burn in 60 minutes as the planet continues to rotate beneath you.
Where is repair unit activated?
With you, floating around.
Okay. I'm just going to try to talk to him. Excuse me. Have you ever landed this ship before?
Repair unit activated.
Do you know how to talk to people?
My functions pertain to repairs.
Yes. What's the status of the repairs?
No repair instructions received. Status complete.
Gotcha. You're like one of those people that need to be told what to do.
Confirmed.
What should I tell you to do?
Does something need to be repaired?
Can you run a scan of things that need to be repaired?
Please provide scan parameters.
The whole ship.
Confirmed. and it starts just like it plugs into a nearby computer console.
It's going to come back with a lot, isn't it? My search parameters were too big.
Like, yeah, it's basically going to be busy. You have 60 minutes until the reentry burn, which is when they fire they're in position to fire the thrusters to reduce their speed, so they start on a downward trajectory that's going to get them exactly after the burn over the Voski Mountains. Hopefully, probably, if Barakai doesn't fuck this up. So you don't know how long the scan is going to take, and it's been a couple of minutes. So you can wait for him to finish his scan / wait for the reentry burn. Is there anything else Asena wants to do on the way down?
I'm going to stop the scan. You're okay. Stop. You've been doing this for a while. What you got so far?
Plasma scarring detected in reentry panels. Recommendation: dry dock repair.
Okay. Well, that wasn't very helpful. Anything else?
Scan interrupted. Unable to determine additional parameters.
Okay. This repair unit is not working with me.
Have I failed to comply?
Yeah.
Would you like me to deactivate?
No, that's not necessary. I'm gonna go talk to Bear.
All right. He is watching sort of a camera and some telemetry that is scanning the atmosphere. You can see, a floating image of the planet and a curve representing the orbit that the ship is taking. And there's a point on the orbit later on with a retro burn icon over it, all sorts of stuff.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
Hey Bear, just wanted to let you know you're doing a great job. I tried to talk to repair unit activated to see if he could help you with anything that might be broke, but the thing's useless. It takes too long.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there anything that you need?
I need to connect to EXARCH. EXARCH can do this. EXARCH would get us all home safely.
I don't think that's true.
What makes you say that?
Well, I think that if we connected to EXARCH, they might just blow us up.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You really do trust these people, don't you?
EXARCH knows me. EXARCH has been there since I was a child, watching all of my successes, encouraging me along the way, giving advice when things aren't going my way, when I have an artistic interest, make sure that the supplies I need to express that interest show up at my doorstep. Of course, EXARCH cares about me.
Have you ever not complied with what they wanted before?
No, we've always wanted the same things.
Well, let's hope that they do care about you upon entry.
If we survive that long. Don't understand why she's willing to kill all of us over this.
Hey, Bear, you're not gonna die. We're not dying.
You ever landed a spaceship through reentry?
Have you ever died before?
What?
But did you die?
He's not sure how to take that.
Bear, I think you can do this. I know I'm just an outsider, someone you just met, but I think you put a little too much faith into your EXARCH people when all you really needed to do was put faith in yourself.
Roll persuasion check, Asena. A neutral, flat persuasion check. I'd have a lot more faith in myself if I knew how to land a spaceship, Asena.
All right. Well, maybe once you land it, you'll believe in yourself a little bit more.
What do you believe in?
Huh. I believe in Dargans.
You're really not from around here. You know, they're all here to conquer us, right? Make us their slaves? Help them build their hordes?
Has Hara made you her slave? Okay, that's a bad question. Asena's like trying to find the words to say to like save this sort of situation.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not really good at words, Bear, but you could do this. And if it doesn't work out, it'll be over real quick, so don't worry.
Yeah, that last part's right, at least. 45 minutes to burn.
Hey, mate.
Yes.
Hara gets a message from John.
All right. What message? As Asena is having this conversation, Hara and Lynn are in the quarters talking about, like, all right, so how does this dimension door thing work? What exactly, like, do we need to have our Atmos? What about conservation of momentum? How do we teleport and not have conservation of momentum? If that happened, wouldn't the acceleration of our atoms simultaneously stop, and our heartbeats would stop, and our brain patterns would... Look, magic is very confusing, Lynn. All right? It doesn't follow the normal... Hang on, I have to take this.
Where are you now? Where are you going? Are you okay? How can we help? I can message again if needed. You can do this.
In orbit. Landing protocol erased. Preparing for reentry. Destination, Voski Mountains. That's 11.
In orbit, landing protocol erase. What was after that?
Destination, Voski Mountains.
Okay.
Prospects, uncertain. Need ground telemetry. Plan A, land, don't die. Plan B, dimension door.
Okay. I inform Gastone of this, and also I was already making my way to
Downtown.
Prince Voski, and I'm letting him know that there is an aircraft entering atmosphere that needs help.
Okay, what kind of help?
Telemetry.
Telemetry. Okay. How much time do we have?
One moment, please.
Do you not just have like escape pods? Is that not a thing here?
It's a small ship. It's a very small ship. It's designed to just take care of things itself.
We also blew a lot of things off the ship.
It got blown up a little bit. It had giant robot spider crabs crawling on it, shooting it with stuff. By the way, Gastone, you know how to build an ECM jammer and a mass driver.
Holy shit.
An ECM jammer allows you to scramble the guidance systems of guided weapons like missiles and such. And a mass driver is basically a railgun. Again, This doesn't mean that you just happen to have one in your pocket, but with the right equipment, technology, tools, etc., you could build these. Also, because you already have from engineering the ability to make progress level 6 weapons, before that was just, better firearms. But combined with this, you could build handheld railguns.
Would they be the kind that would I could only fire them once and I'd have to rebuild them every time?
Depends on the spec. Depends on the spec. You could build basically assault weapons that are powered by railguns, which wouldn't be nearly as strong, but don't tear themselves apart. You could also build a sniper rifle that uses maglev acceleration. You could go to version Angel Hunter 2.0.
Okay. All right, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Basically, you can build a pulse rifle.
Oh, yes.
All right, for both time and for both drama and realism's sake, John, it takes you some time to head up to get to Prince Casimir, and you inform him that you need telemetry to guide a spaceship into the atmosphere, and they don't know how much time that they have.
I'm collecting that right now. So on my way there, I send her a message, getting help, en route. So in response to in orbit, getting help, en route to Voski Mountains. So just getting help, en route, ETA, ? Working on telemetry. Plan A, we're here to help. Plan B, can I assist?
All right. At that, Asena, Haura kind of pushes her way back into the cabin. How long until we land? And Barakai will tell him, reentry burn in 30 minutes, atmosphere 30 minutes after that. 60 minutes to atmosphere, 90 minutes till we land one way or another. Haura will say... Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, I think you were going to tell me.
Yeah. 60 minutes to atmosphere, 90 minutes to impact. Also, I'm not going to do the math on this because, I am not an astrophysicist, but she's also going to give you their current bearing, heading, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. 60 minutes to atmosphere, 90 minutes to the mountains, you said?
90 minutes to impact.
To impact. Okay, yeah, same thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then bearing and such. Okay, and then that way we can start working on what they need.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, also, and she didn't ask for any other help.
Yeah, I noticed.
Mostly because she can't think of anything that you can do because, as far as she knows, your magic doesn't go into the atmosphere.
No, but I'm a fucky wucky wizard.
So Asena, Haura tells Barakai, in a few minutes we're going to be receiving a transmission, including telemetry information from the ground, from Voski High Command. Barakai says, that's great, but that's not going to include all the landing solutions. The Voski can't get us. They don't have a space program. They're not going to have all that. Well, it's better than nothing. They can monitor us from the ground. They can give us some information. They can try to guide us in as best as possible. Does Asena do anything aside from find something to hold on to?
How'd you talk to the Voski?
She rolls her eyes, taps her ear, and mouths the word John.
Oh, so it was him.
Yes.
Oops.
When he uses that spell, you can respond, by the way. 25 words or less. He called it tweeting once, and I didn't understand the reference.
I used to have 140 characters. Now I'm down to 25 words.
So he totally tried to do that with me then. I wonder what I sent him back.
Probably what the first words that came out of your mouth.
I don't remember.
That's fine.
Hopefully he's not mad about it.
He'll get over it.
I'll sit down in the same seat that I was in when we got to space.
Mm-hmm.
which I believe was that front left side.
Yes, the gun.
Yeah.
You have the weapon systems. All right. John and Gastone. Gastone, is there anything that you want to do here? You're basically aware of the situation, as aware as you can be. The Voski have people, again, they don't have like a space program. They're not set up to do mission control to space. They have the equipment to reach that far, to send broadcasts and such. And they have good computers and psychics and the like who can help provide useful intel. But EXARCH would literally just be like, all right, the tower is now taking control. The two systems will talk to each other. Your craft will do X, Y, and Z and land perfectly. The Voski, all they can do is send information to help, okay, it's like when you're backing somebody in.
Yeah.
To a really tight parking spot at Mach 5.
But technically, we have an hour and a half to prepare, basically.
Yeah, except that you need the information. The sooner you get that information to them, the better. So
no, of course.
An hour and a half will be enough for them to establish contact and get things. If this was like mission control, if you said, hey, NASA, we have a craft landing in 90 minutes, it'd be panic.
No, of course. I just mean like we can't really help with that, Gastone and I.
Right.
What I'm wondering is how long will it take us to get to the crash site, like the Voski Mountain crash site? It shouldn't be too far since we're in Voski and it's the Voski Mountains.
Yeah, if you guys, so Gastone and John, if you guys want to hop in a hovercraft and like have Casimir dispatch a rescue recovery team and go with the recovery team, dramatically speaking and also mathematically speaking, depending on the results of these rolls that we're going to do, you should be able to arrive like moments after, impact one way or another.
How many people are on the ship?
4. There are 4 people on the ship.
John, can't you teleport?
Well, so that was my thought. I want to try and actually get to the crash site to where if there's a plan B where they're doing Dimension Door, I can pop in, grab people, and pop out, helping Haura shuttle.
Yeah.
So the craft, if things go badly, there won't be time for that. Because the craft will be traveling at over 2,000 feet around. And the range on Dimension Door is 500 feet. So you need to be able to cast it twice. You know what I mean? Like as soon as it's in range, you use your action to cast it. That's one round. The next round, the ship has moved and it explodes because it hits the ground. Because it's traveling at 2,000 feet per round.
But what if we put John on some small craft that can fly towards it?
Oh, an intercept course.
Or if John just flies himself. Yeah, either way. John can fly as well.
Yeah, but what if, I don't know, based on the earlier conversation, I don't know if John can fly fast enough.
No, John can't fly to space, but if it's like, if we're talking like 2,000 feet, John can fly 2,000 feet up in the air.
As long as it hits the right trajectory. Because any error in the landing, we're talking, it's not going to be like, oh, we're just off by 50 feet. It's like, no, we're off by 2 miles,
Yeah. No,
so
definitely.
it's all about that intercept trajectory. So
I would assume they're coming in like this and not just straight down. If
that's the goal.
If
things don't go poorly.
Yeah. Basically, I'm just wanting to make sure that Gastone and I are in position to help if like things go awry. Because of course, if things go great, then we're not needed. It's awesome. But
is there a way to like, so using the like technology is there a way to actually live track the ship? Is this a thing?
Yeah, they can definitely track it like once it gets within range of their sensors, which it will as soon as it reaches Atmo.
Oh, okay. So there would still be like a decent amount of time to be like,
you'd have a good I made notes on this. I researched the space shuttle.
Hey.
Oh, cool. Okay, so then I kind of have an idea where John gets in the ship, I stay. And I would like to think Gastone is intelligent enough to do these kind of, especially because I have improved in my physics. I recently discovered can do some on the fly calculations while watching how the ship's actually moving, and he can tell John, okay, you need to go here. Okay, shit, no, now you need to go here.
Yeah.
Track turbulence, track it. If it hits like and it gets out of whack, you can calculate the intercept path. John can fly magically, but not as fast as a Voski hover dropship.
I think the ship is definitely
I'm all for the
play.
Yeah,
okay, so we're gonna put.
And we make a point, by the way, to tell Voski and the rest of the high command that if this goes well and they can actually help them land this thing, that's That's a free EXARCH ship, that goes
Yeah,
to space.
I'm just gonna let you know this thing is not landing, and I'm not even bothering to plan for that. You get close enough to Dimension Door and let
absolutely.
that bitch explode.
That's my main concern is saving who's on board. I'm just letting the Voski know, like, hey, if you can help, whatever resources you have, saving this thing is in your best interest because that's like your ticket to actual tech.
Friend Carmichael, we are already at your service. Fear not.
Yeah.
And if it happens to put advanced technology capable of breaking our limitations into the space sphere and giving us an advantage over the ignominious AI that's attempting to control our entire planet in the process, all the better. But we would always do this out of friendship.
Of course.
I always have a hard time believing you, Voski, but I'm glad.
Trust is for those who have forged bonds in blood and fools.
Which I am both. So
precisely. If anyone, you can be trusted. All right. Our scene is set thusly. The reentry burn kicks in as the Wayfarer fires its reverse thrusters and modulates its gravitational fields, causing it to slow down and begin to nose towards the atmosphere. Guided by telemetry information from the ground, and Gastone is plotting an intercept course. John and a recovery team of work mechas, a dropship with some like lifter, loading robot mechas and such. I like to imagine John like standing on the loading ramp, holding on to the hydraulics with his cape billowing in the wind as it takes off and flies.
Oh yeah.
Gastone is in the central command with all these fancy computers, hollow displays, psychics trying to predict the angle of attack. He's got a headset on, working mission command. Asena and these other four, it's still quiet up here in space. They haven't hit the atmosphere yet as you begin to plunge towards the planet. Barakai is extremely nervous. Lynn, let's see if Lynn can do anything to help.
Are they, once they get into, once they actually get into the atmosphere, are we able to actually communicate with them from central command where I'm at?
Well, yes, but actually no. You see, you can send transmissions right before they get into Atmo. Like you can actually establish contact before they hit atmosphere. But once you undergo reentry, a barrier of plasma forms around the ship because of the heat of reentry. That plasma barrier interferes with communications. So during the worst part of reentry, the ship is in radio silence and isolation.
I see. They haven't hit Atmo yet, right?
Correct. You have a window before they hit Atmo.
Okay, I would like to immediately send a message, make a call, whatever.
Pull up on we're not quite Star Trek tech here, but you can definitely pull it up on the screen.
Great, cool. So, is that am I like sending the message? Is this thing on?
Yeah. I'm saying the screen pops up and you see Gastone sitting in the Voski command center with a headset, like tapping it. Dun, dun, dun.
Asena points at the screen. Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah. Yes. Hey. How's it going? Talking. You guys good? Hi.
It can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. You guys look like, you know what? I'm just gonna get right to it. I don't think this ship is gonna land, or at least it doesn't look like it's in any condition to. No, listen. We will get to this sooner. No, don't worry. Whoever is hyperventilating, we're fine. We're gonna have John fly up on another ship, and as soon as he is within range, he's going to cast Dimension Door. The thing that I need you guys to be ready for is a door is going to open up in the middle of your ship. No questions, no thoughts. Go in the fucking door.
No thoughts?
No thoughts. Asena, I know you're great at that.
To get through the door.
What if you have to what?
What if I have to think to get through the door?
You just have to walk.
Yes, what if I have to think 1 foot in front of the other?
Okay, never mind. Where's Hara?
Hara leans over. She's been tapped in this entire time. Hello, Gastone.
Did you get all that?
Yes.
Great. Please deal with her.
What about Bear?
What? Who's that?
the hyperventilator.
Well, Bear, you're gonna be fine, okay?
Not trained for this. This should never be done manually. Human nervous systems aren't designed to react this quickly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we're really going off script in a lot of ways here, so we're just gonna need to deal with it.
You know, now that we're here, I think Bear and Gastone would get along.
Oh wow, you guys are breaking up. Remember, Dimension Door, Hara, watch us.
Wait, where are you
How do I
going?
turn this shit off?
A Voski technician like leans over and taps something after he says, "How do I turn this shit off?" All right, that was too good. We're taking a break off of that. Don't go anywhere, folks. When we come back, hopefully they don't explode and die.
Yay!